Okay, people, we finally have our first estimated pull count for Wuthering Waves, version 3.6.
Are you sure about that?
And honestly, things are looking pretty good, especially if you're completely free to play. Based on everything we currently know, free to play players should be able to get nearly over 100 total pulls throughout version 3.6, and that's with some rewards still missing from the current calculation. So today, we're going through basically every source of Asterites and pulls that you can get during version 3.6. We're talking about dailies and weekly rewards and all the upcoming events and game resets, login rewards, and all that good stuff. And just remember that this is our first estimate. We don't have every single reward confirmed yet, so the final number could end up being even higher. Also, if you enjoy these pull count videos, make sure to like the video and subscribe because I'll be doing another one once we have the final numbers. And let me know down below how much Asterites y'all have currently with the new characters coming up a couple days from now. Are you guys pulling? And one more thing before we get into the video, I just want to let you guys know that I'll be announcing the winners of the giveaway next Monday, so please join the Discord server as I'll be announcing it there. Anyway, let's get back on track. First up, we're starting with probably the easiest and most consistent source of Asterites in the game, your daily missions. Version 3.6 should last the usual 42 days, and since your dailies give you around 60 Asterites every day, completing them throughout the entire patch will give you roughly 2,520 Asterites. That alone is already around 15 to 16 pulls just from logging in and doing your dailies. So even though 60 Asterites every day might not seem like much, once you add everything together across the entire update, it becomes a pretty decent amount. But that's not everything, because we also have the weekly rewards, which give another 160 Asterites every week, and if you're consistent on completing these throughout version 3.6, that's another 960 Asterites added to the total. So definitely don't ignore these, because the dailies and weeklies rewards combined already give you a pretty good amount to start your 3.6 or 3.7 savings. Now, for anyone who isn't completely free to play and has the Lunite Subscription, you're obviously gonna get quite a bit more. The Lunite Subscription gives you an additional 90 Asterites every day across the same 42 days. That comes out around 3,780 Asterites. That's actually more than what you're getting from the daily missions themselves. And in terms of pulls, we're looking roughly around another 24 pulls just from having the subscription active throughout the entire update. Also, I'm continuing the Lunite Subscription giveaway on this video. We have around 5 more days left, and if you want to enter, all you have to do is subscribe and comment roadmap. But for now, we're going to keep counting the free-to-play rewards first, and then we'll add to the paid options into the final total later in the video. Now let's talk about all the first-time claimable rewards coming with version 3.6. Unfortunately, this is one area where 3.6 isn't looking quite as crazy as version 3.5. In 3.5, we had a lot of additional Asterites coming from exploration, chest, puzzles, and other rewards. But for 3.6, we currently don't have new exploration rewards like that, which naturally brings the total pull count down a little. Now, if you still have exploration left from version 3.5, obviously you can continue doing all that, doing 3.6 and get those Asterites, but we're not counting those as the new version 3.6 comes in, since those rewards technically came from the previous update. What we can count though is the new main story content. We're getting 2 new story chapters, and those are expected to give us around 300 Asterites in total. So that's another 300 going straight into the 3.6 total. And then we also have the new tactical hologram challenge. We usually get at least one of these every patch, and they normally give us around 120 Asterites. So assuming the rewards stay the same in this time around, we can add another 120 from that as well. Once we combine the dailies, weekly rewards, and these new first-time rewards, we're already sitting at around 3,700 Asterites, and we're still nowhere near finished. Now let's move on to one of the biggest sources of Asterites every patch, the limited time events. At the moment, we still don't have the exact reward amount for every event because the full patch notes haven't released yet. Those should arrive by next week, but even without those exact numbers, we can still make a pretty reasonable estimate based on the previous versions. Right now, we have around 6 new events confirmed for version 3.6, and that's actually a little lower than the number of events we normally get. And because of that, we're probably looking somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 Asterites from all of version 3.6 events combined. Now, normally we can get somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000, but unless Kuro increased the rewards of some of these 3.6 events, I think using 3,000 Asterites as our current estimate makes the most sense. And that's counting everything together. Major flagship event and all of the smaller side events that are released throughout the patch. One pretty big thing to mention is that co-op content is returning in version 3.6 as an event. So not only are we getting another activity to play with other players, but it's also another source of rewards and materials throughout the update. Once Kuro officially reveals the exact rewards for every event, we'll be able to calculate this section much more accurately. But until then, 3,000 Asterites is the number we're going with. Now this is where a pretty big chunk of all the pull count comes from. Endgame content. We're counting all of the expected resets throughout version 3.6, and there's actually quite a lot here. Starting with TOA, based on the current schedule, we should have a minimum of 1 TOA resets during this patch. That's another 800 Asterites. Then we have Whimpering Wastes, which is even better because it's currently expected to reset at least twice throughout version 3.6. Each resets gives around 800, so resets 2 times gives us 1600. And finally, we have Fantasies of 1000 Gateways, which resets every week, and across the entire update, this should give us roughly around 960 Asterites. So when you add all 3 of these together, the endgame content is giving us over 3000 Asterites by itself. More specifically, we're looking at around 3360 Asterites completely free to play just from keeping up with the endgame reset. And then there's even a chance this number could go even higher if we end up getting another TOA reset. So if you're trying to squeeze out as many pulls as possible during the 3.6, definitely don't forget about your endgame content. Now let's get into some of the smaller rewards that still adds quite a bit to the final total. Version 3.6 should have the usual update login and rewards. From those, we're getting 5 limited pulls and 5 standard pulls across 7 days. Obviously, those pulls are going straight into our final estimated pull count. Then we have the character trials. Between the rerunning characters and the 2 brand new characters, we're looking at around 100 Asterites in total if you completed every trial, since each one gives 20. And then we have one more source of Astrite. It's the maintenance compensation. The maintenance and endgame rewards are expected to give us around 900 Asterites, and with that, we basically cover all of the major sources. So now it's time for the part where everyone actually wants to see, the full pull count. Starting with completely free-to-play players, based on the current estimate, you can obtain up to 12,290 Asterites, plus 12 limited pulls and 18 standard pulls, and 7 weapon banner pulls. Right, there's also the shop reset, which I haven't mentioned yet. Shop gives us 7 pulls of each, and that's where those 7 banner pulls are coming from. Now, if you're free to play but you also have the Lunite Subscription, your total increase to around 1670 Asterites, while the rest stays the same. And finally, if you have both the Lunite and the Battle Pass, the total increases again. You're looking at up to 1600 and 750 Asterites, 17 limited pulls, 20 standard pulls, and 7 weapon banner pulls. So overall, version 3.6 is giving us a pretty solid amount of pulls. But there's one really important thing I want you guys to remember. This is still an early estimate. We don't have every single reward officially confirmed yet, and there are most likely additional Asterites that haven't been included in the current calculation. Some of the event rewards can also change once we get the complete patch information, so there's definitely a good chance the final version 3.6 pull count ends up higher than we're seeing right now. Once we get more information and everything becomes official, I'll make another updated pull count video with the final numbers. So if you're currently saving for one of the upcoming characters, don't panic just yet, because we could still have more Asterites coming. And that's basically our first version 3.6 pull count. And again, if more rewards get confirmed, I'll update you guys with a final total once we know exactly how many pulls we're getting. So make sure you're subscribed and have notification turned on if you don't want to miss the update. And before you leave, comment down below how many pulls do you have saved up right now and who are you saving for. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck with your 3.6 pulls, and I'll see you guys in the next one.